Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Jackie Nordman. I'm a senior here at Ball State. This is my audience. Imagine spending your whole life in an overcrowded shelter. You have little to no human contact, and you have to watch people constantly walking by you, but you never get taken to your forever home. According to the ASPCA, that is the fate of 6 to 7 million cats and dogs that are currently in shelters. Today I will be discussing with you why it is better to adopt a cat or a dog from a shelter rather than buying from your local breeder. Almost every animal that I have ever owned have been rescues. That includes the horses that I have saved from racetracks, or cats and dogs that I've taken from shelters. They all have provided me with unconditional love and companionship. I've had the opportunity to volunteer at a lot of animal shelters, and even though these organizations are incredible and do everything they can, the animals often stay there as their permanent home instead of a temporary one. Dogs and cats that are in shelters are just as worthy as those from breeders. As I said, about 6 to 7 million cats and dogs get taken to animal shelters every year. This could be a result of being a stray, an unwanted Christmas present, or an abuse or neglect case. Of those cats and dogs, about 1.5 million of them have to be euthanized because of limited spaces in shelters. Here's a graph that I found on what happens to the animals in shelters. The first bar is the amount of animals that have to be euthanized. The second ones are the ones that have been adopted, and the third one is all of the ones that have been returned to owners. And then the last bar is how many remain in the shelters. As you can see, two of the biggest bars are how many have to get euthanized and how many remain in shelters. I was honestly very surprised when I saw how many have to be euthanized, but that's the harsh truth of the shelters. All of the animals in these shelters have the same loyalty and companionship as those that we are all looking for in our animals. According to Cesar Millan, who is a very famous dog trainer, we provide them with an environment that gives them their basic needs and a companion, which is why they are so loyal to us as owners. By rescuing, you are creating a safe space for them that they probably have never seen before. Because of that, I believe that rescuing an animal will create an even stronger bond between you as its owner. You are showing them that their past is in the past, and you will be there for them unconditionally. Dogs thrive off of attention and activities and being social creatures, and even though, as I said, these shelters do the best that they can, they are rarely provided with everything that they need. I believe it is inhumane to continue breeding cats and dogs when there are millions of them sitting in shelters. An article by Terry Allen discusses that they are being bred for looks, not for health, which is why, in the long run, this requires very expensive vet bills and an unfulfilled life for the animal. Many show dogs are a result of inbreeding as well, and even though they can be great and fun to watch on TV, they often develop diseases and deformations by the age of 5. It is understandable that people are drawn to breeders because of the fact you're most likely getting a purebred dog that doesn't come with the extra baggage of having a neglectful past. However, we have to really think about these animals who are lonely and sitting in shelters and want the same amount of love that any animal does. If you are thinking about buying a cat or dog, you obviously love them and want what's best for them, and rescuing from a shelter would definitely be what is best for that animal. You're also saving them from an environment that could potentially be harmful for them and their mental health. They spend the majority of their time sitting alone in the back of their cage when they're, as I said, very naturally sociable animals. I'm sure we've all seen those transformation videos of them sitting in the shelter all depressed, and then on their way home they're all happy for being rescued. That goes to show how depressed it is possible for them to get as they are sitting in a cell wondering what their next step is going to be. Therefore, keeping these breeders in business is unfair to all of those animals in overcrowded shelters. According to animal labs, dog and cat breeding also disrupts the natural path of evolution. That is because they are combining breeds that would not naturally be combined. However, that is artificial selection and does not allow the animal to fully evolve how it should. Breeding has also caused many disorders to be formed. For example, many pugs are a result of bad breeding. Many of their facial features are not natural and actually make it very hard for them to breathe and create very serious health problems for them. If more people begin to adopt from shelters, less dogs will suffer from the effects of breeding. Another example of the results of breeding would be German Shepherds. These are incredibly popular dogs, as we all know, but unfortunately most of them suffer from the effects of breeding. Their numbers have actually started to decline, and research by George Dvorsky has suggested that the decreasing demand for German Shepherds has something to do with their health problems, which is a result of selective breeding. With all of that being said, I truly believe that adopting an animal from a shelter is more humane than buying from a breeder. We all dream of having an unconditional bond with our cats and dogs, and rescue animals are more than capable of giving us that. They can also provide us with a stronger bond, as I said, because they know that we are the ones that rescued them. Next time you're looking for your forever cat or dog, take a trip to your local animal shelter instead of researching local breeders. I hope this speech has persuaded you to believe that rescuing from an animal shelter is more humane and better for the animal than buying from your local breeder. Here's my audience again.